Turo ormai tau Maara Tuareka Manurewa tau Maara vida te au tau Maara. Te mata takere atu. Mata ora te te. Akamata to ka te te ya. Ronga. Ira mai te tatu puri akamata. Akamata te. We just start off with an opening karakia prayer before we move on.
Ni tua tua I ho e tarani. Ero bine matu te reka I te tatu te ako ke sta matu. Mi te kia kia koe. Koe te chekia matu na tu te a. E kua ka tai mea matu I te temi. I te akarangatu I te apipi. E matu I te akangi. E akana matu I te imene. E ana pāpa ai a koe. Nā pipilo. No re oro mai te kide te karatu I te matu kuaki. E ro ke te api mai a matu I ro ka koe matu I te whaitire. E te tāma I te matu ora. Te tae ke te aere mai nāti mata, topi mai ki a rātu I o tāmatu fure, pai mai rātu I o tāmatu I mai ki a ko pai tu te hara woke, ko pai ki Manurewa o mai ki mata I a matu ka eto, e ki tāmatu a te. Re mai ki a piretat, au ki a kamiti ki a kawa na ki a mona ta ki mai ki a isu sia. Amen.
According to Hawaiian mythology, the god of music was. Does anyone know?
Oh, Lono.
Lono. So, any idea in Cook Islands then what might be the equivalent of Lono? Or who? Rongo. Ya tata to Cook Island, Rongo is to listen or to do with the oral perceptions. So that's why Rongo is the god of music, amongst other things. Iwaira, it's Lono. Kita ira, wa marmara alono, irunga tona nga en on e. Eke mai e ki raro tia ni aure, ta anunga mai e te tua o te anunga no. One day, according to Hawaiian mythology, Lono felt lonesome. He wanted a company. So, on the back of the rainbow, he surfed down to this world. And there, in this world, he met up with Laka, a female, and they married. And from their union, they had many children. They had many music children. Can anyone name any traditional Hawaiian music or instrument?
The ipu.
Ipu is one. Okay. So they had many children. One of them is ipu. One of them is pahu, the drum. So, okay. Now, remember, this is the god Lono marrying Laka, and forthwith from them many music children were born to this world. The Pau, the Hue, or the god, and some of course, one of them of course then is the, what the Hawaiians call the One Hano Tihu, it's the nose flute. That was one of their children. Kaeke, it's a bamboo tube, that's one of their children. Pahu of course, the conch shell, that's one of the children of Lono and Raka. One of them, Tarao Tamarikira Ogirira, ko Ukeke. One of their children then is called Ukeke. Ukeke is a 2 or 3 stringed instrument. So those were the children of Lono and Laka. So that's the mythology world. Now we move to the mortals world. So, ite mata iti taitawa tini waru anere iti moru Maeva. Wa tai mai te pai no o te tua paniorama ki wai. So in 1879, a ship arrived from Madeira in Portugal to Hawaii. Why? They were bringing workers to work on the sugarcane plantations, to work on the cattle ranches in Hawaii. So they need these Spanish. They are very clever with and around cattle, but also with sugarcane. So, because the boat has been too long at sea, as soon as they got down to Honolulu, there was this gentleman jumped off the boat, brought his ukulele or guitar-like instrument and started playing on the wharf in Honolulu. The Hawaiians were so amazed. Mataora rato I te epinga tupu mai nei te akatangi o ki a te tangata. Ina, te akatangi ne te mea mi te kitarai, te remano na pana o atua mi te kuturai e re bikua ni kiko. So the manner he was playing this, it's a raguena. It's a Portuguese instrument. The manner he was playing this instrument, his fingers were jumping here, there, and everywhere. Then the Hawaiian said, "Akarai atorara, koreka tarari manoa mi te kuturai." The Hawaiian said, "Look at the fingers, at his finger work. It's like the flea jumping here, there, and everywhere." So in Hawaiian, uku means, it's the fleas. Mea tātou I mauke, mea tātou I mauke e kutu. Ai mga ia te mea. Flea, yeah. So in the Hawaiian, those nasty crawlies are called uku, and as in the Cook Islands, e kutu with Maori over here as well. I think in Samoa it's uku. Okay, and then of course lele is to jump, to fly around. So that's where that's how the word ukulele came about. But also, when the older Hawaiian folks saw the ukulele, they tied it straight away with the ukeke. Also, because with Hawaiian mythology, one of the thinking was that when the Portuguese brought this stringed instrument, they connected straight to their traditional ukeke, which is also a stringed instrument. Then they said that the ukulele was actually a lost child of ukeke. They were quick to make that connection straight away. So that's just about the known history of where, when, how the ukulele came about to Hawaii. So then, let's focus on ita to Cook Island. When did it come to the Cook Island? Does anyone know? So here we go. So 1879, the Portuguese instrument was introduced to Hawaii. So we start with 1879. So the ukulele could not have gotten to the Cook Islands before then. No way. In 1888, the Cook Islands became a British dominion. Cook Islands became a British empire. 1901, Cook Islands became a New Zealand, under New Zealand. So, just before the war, remember 1914, the First World War, 1914 to 18, but this was just right at that time. In Pupute in Hawaii, there was a group from Hawaii. That was the first time that this group with the ukulele went outside Hawaii. Yeah. So this group, they are called the Royal Hawaiian Quartet. They were the first one to take the ukulele out of Hawaii. They performed in San Francisco. It was this year. And that's when the world started to learn, to hear, to see the ukulele. 1915. So, So 1917, just before the end of the war, Makatea, have you heard of Makatea? Makatea in Tahiti opened up for the phosphate. Yeah. There was just a mining of the rock. Makatea in Tahiti opened up. So a lot of Cook Islanders then went from that here to work in Makatea, picking up it's the same rock they quarry in Nauruma phosphate. So a lot of our Cook Island folks in Tokopapa, they actually went to Makatea to quarry. A lot of them went from Atiu, Rarotonga, Mangaia as well. So upon their return, no Makatea mai in French Polynesia, they brought ukulele no Makatea mai. So that's when, as far as I know, that's when the ukulele started to infiltrate in the Cook Island. Yeah, around about 1917, 1920s, that's when it began. It might have started earlier, but from documentations, it's around those years, 1930s. Yeah. So they returned with lots of songs, no Makatea mai, and also playing. Introduced the ukulele back to the Cook Islands. I think the ukulele they brought was this kind of ukulele, you know, Hawaiian, true Hawaiian ones. And from their own creativity, because no one know how to make this kind of ukulele. So with the coconut, abundance of coconut, so all they did was ingenuity, invention, probably trial and error or learning from someone in Tahiti. And then we got this type in the Cook Island. However, in Tahiti, they still maintained, from this one, they went to the Pakiri Mango, okay? The ukulele with the shark skin membrane. 8 string ukulele. So in Tahiti, before this one, where this sound piece will be, they have a shark skin membrane here. pinned down by a wire. Okay, there would be a hole here, but covering that hole is the shark skin. So it sounds more like a banjo. That's probably, I think, one of the where it derived from. Because if you have seen a banjo, it would still be the same. It's just a skin. So that's what they use a lot in Tahiti. Tuamutuma, it's the shark skin membrane ukulele. And that remained up to the time when some brilliant person came up with this invention. So I'll talk about this one now. I had a time to speak to Teva, Mr. Teva Tetuanui. He's a big recording artist, studio owner, but he's moved on, he's passed on. He recorded Maria and others. What he said was, this kind of ukulele actually started in New Caledonia. There was a Tahitian man who lived in New Caledonia. It was there that this Tahitian man came up with the idea. The problem with the shark skin was that it's constantly warping or it's slacking. The skin is always loosening, so that's the problem. So this person thought, okay, if I were to put a thin ply covering that hole, maybe that problem will be avoided. But what he did when he did that was he just brought this out into the world. Just made a big invention. So from Tahiti, from New Caledonia, went back to Tahiti. And for us in the Cook Islands here, Maara, it was actually Teva Piti that made it well known back in the Cook Islands. 1992, I think they came to UKARERE for the
Arts Festival.
Festival of Arts, you know that on
Civic
the
Arts Festival.
yeah. And they came to the Cook Islands, and it was a big, massive hits, their songs and the way they were playing. It was big to ukulele. So that's just a brief history.
It's only been around for about 20, 30 years. 20 years.
It's a very recent, because if you look at 1985 video RFO in Tahiti, they still have the older ones. So it's a very new invention. So, how did I get to use the ukulele? It was while I was going to university. I needed money to support the family and also to pay my fare to university, that I learned how to make the ukulele. It was all self-taught. During the first year at uni, I took a few engineering papers, and that's where I learned how to use engineering tools, the vernier caliper, and how to tune them. Okay? That's the only way I learned I knew how to make the ukulele. If I had not been at university, I wouldn't have learned how to play the ukulele. And also another thing, it was here in Otara that I learned to play the ukulele, not in Mauti. I learned it here. So if you say that, if you say that you can't learn here, and you have to be back home to learn, no, that's incorrect. Because if I did it here, you should be able to do it here. And you probably find out that you yourself will probably be better than a lot, if not most of them back home. So that's another thing. So what I did during my university's years then, experimented, just by experimental. So here we have I used Cody. So this is Cody from Rosenfeld Rixen in Mount Wellington. Beautiful wood. So there you go. I looked at photos from Tahiti. So designed this kind of thing. Yeah. So this one is ready to go. This this one is ready to go. Just need to be tied up and bored, and you get something like that. So how do we do it? You come up with a design of your own, how you might think, how it might look in your mind. Okay, so there you go, a template, mark. Just mark the outline. So, the machine. So with the jigsaw, very important tool, you need a jigsaw. But if you have access to a bandsaw, even better, because you can cut. For example, you can cut 20 of this in a row, and then you move on to the next stage of your ukulele making. You know. So is that there? Just with a jigsaw, a steady hand. So cutting through here until you get something like this. This one's all ready to go. There's a few well overdue ones at home, which I haven't had time to make, but yeah, this is one of them. So that's that one. No, I don't. Kauri is too soft. On a mechanical setting, grading, if you can imagine, steel is right up there and water is right there. Kauri is low. Okay, so I prefer somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle will be the tamanu. Tamanu is good, plus it's nice. Tamanu miro or rosewood, Pacific rosewood is beautiful. Tow or the Pacific walnut, beautiful. The miro ragi rantonga you don't just cut up the miro because it's precious wood. It's for medication, so you just don't cut it for that purpose unless it falls over. Then, but other than that, you don't do that. No, it's a precious tree.
Would that change the sounds, the different woods? Would it give you a different sounds when you're playing with your ukulele?
Aye. So the density of a wood, of a piece of wood, makes a difference. You know. So you might get soft wood like this. So you can imagine a soft wood. The grain is not tight. So there will be a lot of porous holes in there, which allows sound to leak. So if you can imagine that, whereas you get the dense wood where sound can't escape. Sound can only go throughout the hole that you wish to come out. Okay. Soft wood, it leaks sound. Harder wood, harder dense, so the wood is really packed. So there's a lot of difference there. Any questions thus far?
Why is the sound hole at the back of these other ukuleles than this one here? Why do they have it at the back?
Two reasonings that I know. Yeah. One. Okay, if this is a thin plate, so you want it to be strong. What do you think will happen if you bore a hole in it? Are you strengthening it or are you weakening it? You're weakening it. So this is how it came before. And some clever baka in Tahiti said, why should, if you bore a hole at the front, especially this one, if you bore a big hole, then you're actually weakening it. Why not put the hole somewhere else? Recently, there's someone else who does not have a hole here. The hole are here on the sides. Yeah. So it doesn't matter where you I think it matters. Yeah.
But also when they made it out of shark skin, they wouldn't have been able to have a hole in the shark skin, would they?
No. No,
the
the skin is just one whole plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have been able to put a hole, so they probably thought, oh, let's
Exactly, yeah.
put a hole in
Even
the
if you put the hole in, because remember, it began with the shark skin. So a shark skin, so if you put a hole in the shark skin, you're already weakening it.
It won't be able to be tight.
Yeah. So someone clever, even from the shark skin, they place it here, then they decided to put the hole there. So those are the things. If you put the hole here, it's weakening. Secondly, if you have the hole at the front, you can't control the echo. This is what I mean. What is it? Okay, so with the hole at the back, you can manually block it, but you can also allow the well to come out. That is one reasoning. Yeah. So you control over here. There's no way you can control the echo. Yeah. No way. But this, with the hole at the back, because it's against your body, so you have a control of that opening. You have a control of that. So those are two reasonings, I think, why it's like. But mainly mechanics, plus also control of the echo. So, in trying to get a good, well-tuned, when the ukulele is not well-tuned, what I mean is when the frets are not placed in the correct position, you get what we call an AIRANI, an off tune or a false sound. Once the frets are misplaced, so it doesn't come out nice. It gives a false sound. So that was one of the things then that I had to find out at university, and then luckily enough, I found that, and I shouldn't be telling you, because there's a lot of sacred things I shouldn't be telling you. In other words, if I was a tradesperson, I shouldn't be telling you these secrets. But then, should I leave this world tomorrow, what use is the knowledge that I throw it away, that I take to the ground tomorrow, and I haven't passed it to 1, 2, at least 4 of you tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what we'll do now, the ukulele, there are different lengths and sizes. So to get the correct spacing, it doesn't matter how long or short the ukulele is, whether it's a long or short one, but there's a formula. It must be, it's what they call the scale length. The scale length is that free length from here to here. Yeah. So that's a scale length. So that length is divided by a number to get the spacing. And that's how they work this. So, which brings us to a group exercise. 3 groups. Get into 3 groups where you will get to actually do an exercise. Choose a ukulele, any ukulele that's with you, and measure the scale length. Okay. Measure the scale length. Yeah. Okay. Record your details. Record your numbers. That's right. Record the number. Once you've got that number, do that. Once you've done the ruler pass on
E vairanga mo no taku ana we puarenga no tirani e reo hiti po e tangi manu.
Okay, I'll come through and then I'll show you how to use the digital caliper to determine the first fret. Okay, yours is 1.10.
Tapuro ia kia vai mania no taku anau. Taku vai rua taku inanga roki taku I UKARERE.
You didn't get that right. So can you do that one again? Divided by...
Hei tango kita kata no ua popo ma ini e tama.
So that gap there.
No oe no amuri mai e mutu kore.
Okay, so can someone find out 22.5?
Tapuro ia kia vai mania no taku anau.
Until you get to 22.5.
Taku vai rua taku.
So that measurement should be should be that gap. Maera.
Because it's 12.6.
Iya kata, karena ngadu ya.
No oe no amuri mai e mutu kore. No oe no amuri mai e mutu kore.
So take it from the neck to the first thread. Sit. Oh, it's wrong.
Okay, well done. Let's move over here. Set this to 19.2. Right now it's 0. So just by rotating this, you come to whatever. You just push this backward until you come to the 17. Yeah. Or the closest. So that gap should be the same one.
Well, without that, we'll be stuck with it.
Yep. Okay. Set up Maara by rotating that to 24.7. So what's happening here? Yeah, hello, my mind, please. You should be able to go home and start making ukulele using that formula. There's no other formula. Yeah. So when I started making ukulele, there were others in New Zealand who was making ukulele. Ricky is one. But the Ricky, his ukulele was off most, if not all the time. Then he realized that I had unlocked the secret. So so we spoke and I shared it with him. So that's how he got the correct formula. And then he went over to Rarno. So it was so someone else passed the formula to me 300 years ago. And then I passed it on to Ricky and others. So hopefully Ricky or you don't hold it back to yourself. If someone gave it to me, it's my obligation to give it to you. Okay, we'll get back into your space. The most important part. Okay? Maera. Apopo me period once you come to a group tomorrow, or they have a different tension. So what you do, you end up winding yours and then you break. Or you lower yours. It's always good to maintain a certain standard. 440 Hertz, if you have a tuner here, anyone got a tuner? Yeah. So maintain that 440 Hertz That's the fifth extended, I think. I find. So it's this one. So make sure your ukulele is tuned to mine. Te kone Pamitoru tatato imato imoge Pamitoru is G7 Te kone to Pamitoru G7 Okay Eta ino e kone A minor Tomirua e mau ke F. Tomirua F. Tomirua A. E kone e mo. F. Tomitoro. Tukura. Tuku. A minor, so you eta yo. Ate te por eta yo mo yo. A minor. Okay. Peyroux. We'll just play two chords. A minor and G7 only. A minor and G7 only. A minor and G7. Okay, minor. Okay. There, that's the tempo. 1, 2, 3, go. A minor. G7, come down. Tuareka api o tamariki ta imen tamariki na tato. Okay. So again, it's oral. There's only 3 chords, so you can't go wrong. If you press 1, then if you feel it's not right, then it must be one of the other 2. So you have to quickly change.
I didn't.
Okay. Aro amete joyabu. Starting with C. Following me. C. ta imene. Tofu aranga na mete para during my journeys in the desert of this world. Tofu aranga na mete para. Sí. Kapure tatato mga, ay mga tato, pe tamator, upo para ako tumama. Pagka doon ako tadi na, may katsi kaya ko, upo may tatato mga, ay mga tato.
Tato kami kita tato mga tomato mitwato yung mga tarang ititi mga te wak pa iya iya kamado do tomato ko. Kay mato tire iya kamala mato tiro ono o te maringi umay gurunga ay mato. Kamay tagi may di mga kamado do imato. Ito yung mga mitwato kan oray. Ito mitwato kan ono ay mga tomato pude ti na to tingo man ta automatic ko Yesu misia. Amen.
Ereu